messed up. I can edit this part out. Okay, hold on. Week intro. We can save it. Welcome to the Carousel, where we discuss video games, movies, and sometimes comic books, and generally whatever awful things those conversations lead to. With me, I have Randy.
That's the best part. That's me.
And I have Jake.
You know, normally I don't watch basketball, but during the finals, it's so fun. And man, this Kevin Durant guy, like, he is really fucking good. Like, I don't know where he was before he went to Oakland, but whatever they paid for him, like, they could have doubled it, because that guy is a true talent, and he can really make any team he's on, I think.
You're a bitch.
Just as a reminder for the listeners, both these guys are from Oklahoma.
Yeah, except John doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad you were on tonight, because I had nothing as a backup. I was like, I don't know.
You're like, I'm leading with the KD stuff.
Make some joke about Comey and move on, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, man. That's a whole other podcast.
It's several. Crooked Media has like 40 out every week these days.
Oh, man. So what is this show? Is this the Carousel?
This is the Carousel, and we didn't have PS Plus games for June last time because they weren't out yet.
I thought this was Hoops Cast. I thought we were talking hoops, and you guys were going to talk some NBA 2K or whatever that game's called.
Yeah,
and,
we were going to talk rebounds. Right.
And, yeah, stick some balls in some holes, hit some nets.
The hardwoods.
Slam them hard. Talk
Yep,
about Kobe. He plays basketball. And Jordan. I hear there's a contention between which one is better.
Between Kobe and Jordan. Yep, that's the discussion. Kobe and Jordan.
You have to bounce the ball when you move. You can't. I don't know if you know that about basketball, but you have to bounce it.
Well, that's only when the referee doesn't like you, though, right? Like,
or when he's looking at you.
Because otherwise, you can just walk it across like most of the court. And you
or just be LeBron, and you can go from the 3-point line all the way to the hoop, and nobody cares.
It helps that the dude, like, his legs are longer than me. Yeah. But anyway, none of these games are on PS Plus in June. We have, remember they said they were going to start, like, oh, we're really going to make it a real good value proposition for everyone. We're really going to improve the service, and we're really excited. We think our customers are really going to be happy with what we're doing to make this a service they can feel good about spending money on. Well, it's not happening this month, because we got Killing Floor 2, which I looked it up, and it's like a $40 single-player first-person shooter zombie game. And I'm like, this looks way too polished to be Killing Floor. Like, I remember, I went on Steam. I was like, I know I've played this, but it was garbage. Like, and sure enough, I've played like 22 minutes of it, and it's like a super budget kind of like indie. Looks like maybe 3 or 4 guys made it Left 4 Dead clone, and this is way not that. So I actually downloaded it. This one actually kind of looks interesting.
Okay.
And then I was. When I said this month isn't the improved month, I was kind of underselling it, because next is Life is Strange, which people who liked it just lost their mind over.
It's a fantastic game, and they made the limited edition, that released in January, I think, of this year, and the game, all the episodes came out last year, so it's good to see a semi-new-ish for PlayStation Plus game hit,
You're talking about the physical copies that went out?
Yeah.
In January? Okay. Yeah, I put it in my list. I don't know that I'll ever play it, but at least now I don't have an excuse to have not played it.
I'm sorry, don't you play all the fucking Telltale bullshit?
Yeah, and every time I do that, you remember you saying, like, man, I really don't like these games, but it's got Batman, and boy, Telltale really needs to figure out something else to do with these IPs.
All you got to do is put a Batman or a Gundam in there, and John's on board.
I'm not. Okay, Gundam, yes. It's pronounced Gundam, like the gun.
I did that on.
I know you did. It bothered me.
It worked. The Southern boy coming out. But these goddamn Gundams.
But no, like Life is Strange is like a AAA Telltale game, like without the bullshit shooting mechanics they sometimes throw in, and probably better written in some places.
Well, it's one of those, and it's probably because it takes place in the Pacific Northwest. It feels like a really good rainy Sunday, woke up late, not going anywhere all day, just sit down and play this thing end-to-end game.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Like, you can probably... Well, I say that. Like, some of those episodes, I feel like the episodes in that are a bit longer than a Telltale episode, because it's 4 episodes, but I feel like you're gonna do a solid hour and a half to 2 hours each episode. So, like, if you have an 8-hour session, awesome. If you were me and max out at 3 to 4 hours, then it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've done 13, 14 when I have literally nothing to do on a weekend.
Well, okay.
So, yeah, I could do that. Next we have Neon Chrome, which I looked up and kind of went, yeah. It's like a top-down shooter roguelike. You've seen a billion of these lately. Honestly, I feel really bad for the creators when I say that, because really, I'm sure they put a lot of work into it, but I can't get my dander up for another top-down shooty roguelike.
I mean, they named the game Neon Chrome, so chrome is a metal and neon is a light.
Gas.
It's
a gas.
It doesn't.
It emits light when you pass an electric current.
Yeah, and if you put neon in chrome, it's not going to glow.
It might. I mean, you just run a current through it, but you wouldn't see it because it's chrome.
Maybe if the chrome was thin enough?
I tell you what you wouldn't see if it were standing on a neon light. A spy chameleon.
Oh, well, yeah, they're all spies. I don't trust the little fuckers.
Chameleons can change their colors.
Huh? they can also glow like neon lights.
I mean, in case our audience didn't know.
I try to bring a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can play those last two on the go because they're Vita as well. This, Spy Chameleon actually looks kind of fun. It's, it's a top-down sort of puzzly stealth kind of game, but the gimmick is there's like all these carpets, and they're red and blue and green or whatever, and you have to be standing on a red carpet as you turned red to hide from the enemies until they pass, and then you move on to the next one and you got to turn it blue. Like, it's a fun concept, and the art and the animation look pretty fun. I am kind of short selling it, but eh. And then for PS3, which I can't believe I still have my PS3 hooked up, but I do. I keep telling myself I'm going to play Last of Us, and that's never going to fucking happen. Anyway, I thought this was Abe's Odyssey, and that they just mistyped it.
PS4 yet? Didn't they give that away?
I didn't like it on PS3. So it's Abyss Odyssey.
Abyss.
So it looked like kind of a side-scrolling RPG.
Oh shit! I own that on Steve. On Steve.
On Steve. Hey Steve, bring it. Abyss Odyssey, yeah. Thanks, Steve. I'll see you in a minute.
He cracked that bottle open right when he got home today.
He's like a homeless GameStop. He's great. Lives down the corner. We just trade shit all the time. No. I'm pretty sure I own that on Steam, and I've never played it. I think it might have some sort of multiplayer aspect to it, but it has a cool pixel art style. I realize, I guess I better not open Steam right now and screw up the fucking stream, but...
Is it super pixely? It looks like 2D, not necessarily pixels. I mean, yeah, sprites for sure, maybe, but...
Maybe I have it confused, then. I'm going to Google it really quick. So, welcome to Google Cast. I am right now typing Abyss Odyssey in my browser, not knowing what's going to happen.
It actually takes you on a journey into an abyss, and just a portal opens up. Just whoa.
Okay, so this wasn't the game I was thinking of. I think Atlas might have published it, though, on some leg. Okay.
So, hit up PS Network or your local Steve and play that.
Yeah.
And the last we have World Rally Championship, which I went racing game number 5. Moving on, so check that out if your PS3 is still hooked up. Them's all your June games.
Man, they really need to move up their PS3 backwards compatibility stuff. Not that.
Do you think that's ever going to happen?
Did you hear that quote from the fucking Sony exec recently?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, he may as well have done the Microsoft quote of if you're backwards compatible, you're truly backwards, or some bullshit like that. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was still like, come on, dude.
Didn't Microsoft just release something this week too, saying that like only 1.5% of their users even use backwards compatible stuff?
Oh, surely it's more than that.
It's not very many. Like, hardly anyone uses the shit. It's really is a marketing point that everyone loves, and it actually, like listening to Giant Bomb, Gersman was saying that it actually increases sales. Like evidently Xbox had a bump when they did it in their Xbox Live subscriptions.
Well, probably. I mean, people invest a lot of money in their game library, and they don't want. People think that they're going to go back and play, Fallout 3 again, even if they're not.
Yeah.
Well, it's peace of mind. It's knowing that you don't have to leave your entertainment center all screwed up. Like, you can box up your old stuff and go with this new system. Like, so yeah, it's going to encourage more people to adopt the new system. Even if they don't use it, you're selling people peace of mind. So yeah, I think it's good to have, even if, I mean, I'm the same way. I don't use it a ton, but I really like that it's there.
See, this is why we need Joey back. Does that really fuck with your production that much to throw in backwards compatibility?
Well, I mean, Microsoft, they have their first-party developers, but they just have to devote money and resources. Well, they did devote money and resources to developing that technology, and now they just evidently have a process that isn't too taxing on them to do, so they've been introducing it. But with PS3, and I do think you're right in that Joey may have a better light on it.
Yeah.
But the problem with the PS3 is the cell architecture and trying to emulate somewhere between 6 to 8 processors.
It's pronounced ameliorate.
That work.
So I kind of have a different
fucked up hierarchy.
I kind of have a different take on this. So not only do they have to kind of make a oh my god, I forgot the word. You just said it before you said ameliorate, and you kicked that word right out of my head.
Emulate?
Yes, thank you. So I think they have an emulator. Like, they have to make their own. They can't just, pull one off the internet, because then it'll just be on the internet, and you've just... None of your games for that system are ever going to sell again. So, not only do they have that, they also apparently have to do something to kind of port, quote-unquote, these titles over to the emulator, which is why you don't have, like they did on the PS3, PS2 original, where you could just put a disc in and be done. So I think it's kind of a two-part thing. And yes, I am talking out of my ass, but it seems plausible. So that might be why it's not a... Sony isn't making it a huge priority either, because, they actually have to do work on this stuff to make it happen.
What irritates me is that the PS4 doesn't play PS1 and PS2 games. There's no fucking excuse for that. That's easy. You can download that. Sony could just pay one of those companies that already did it and fucking put it on their platform. I mean, PS4's X84 or 64, whatever chipset. I mean, it can do it.
I would
X86. Oh no, that was the 360. My bad.
I'd play the hell out of some Katamari if I could.
X86 would have been the Xbox. The 360 was a Mac, basically.
Okay. That's weird you bring that up, Randy. I was literally just playing Katamari over the weekend because I still have my PS3 hooked up, and I saw that I bought it at some point. And boy, man, that control is real rough.
You don't? Maybe if I went back, I wouldn't like it, but I loved it at the time, man.
Well,
it's a very charming game.
The best ones were the PS2 ones.
Those are the ones I played.
Yeah. I don't know what this PS3 Katamari business is. I haven't played any of those, so. But anyway.
So what else we got coming out in June, Randy?
Ooh, on the 16th, we got one for the Switch called ARMS. I'm just looking at it now. It looks like a fighter where you use your arms. It's very cartoony. They've got go-go gadget arms and boxing gloves and stuff.
See, this is why you're on the podcast, Randy, because we want your hot takes from an everyman who doesn't follow gaming.
Yeah. I like to play them, but I am guilty of not following them. So can any of you provide more illumination on that? I mean, neither of you even have a Switch, do you?
I don't know shit about this game, so while Jake's foot joke was funny, at the same time, it's probably also semi-true of me, too.
Well, I've watched a little footage of it. I still haven't seen anything... even at Mario, with the weird people who don't look like people in the city that doesn't necessarily look like a city thing they've been pushing, the hat seems weird. Even with that, I still haven't seen a reason that I need to get a Switch, for all the reasons that I've delineated. And it seems like the people who are loving their Switch a ton are using all the portable features of it, and those are exactly the piece that I just don't find useful. But regardless, I had been kind of watching this, and yeah, it looks like a sort of kind of a fighting game, but mostly boxing match with spring arms and...
I think they're still going for that sort of motion controls. says throw punches and guide them mid-flight to hit agile fighters.
Mm-hmm. So like you'll throw the punch and then you twist your wrist.
Yeah, you're like, woo.
And that'll make it curve.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like it would be pretty fun.
It'd be fun for maybe if you had a couple kids. Dad could beat up on the kids a little bit, get out some aggression.
Well, you can do that in real life. You don't need to pay $500 to do that, dude.
Well, not with gadget arms.
So take the $500, build real gadget arms, and just straight up go Adrian Peterson on
So what
there
I'm
you
getting
go.
out of this conversation is Jake, pro, beat the shit out of your kids, go to jail. Mm-hmm. Randy, let's just virtually beat the shit out of them. So
right.
It's good.
You can't let them win. That teaches them bad lessons.
I don't know if you could hear it, but literally as you were saying that, the 3 children who live upstairs all went running across my ceiling.
So it's
literally as those
you,
words
really
were coming out of your mouth.
You could beat the shit out of other people's kids. They won't talk.
Not when I'm done with them, they won't.
That's right. Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Speaking of beating things to death, Dead Rising 4 on the 20th. Super Ultra Dead Rising 4 Mini Golf.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Pickings are slim, guys. I don't know. What the fuck this? It's like, it looks like it's a life-size mini golf course that you can do real golf stuff, but then maybe there's zombies too.
Like the zombies will chase you or something, or maybe the golf ball is a zombie head.
It was super slim pickings for games. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing coming out. It's E3 week.
Yeah, the movies don't look much better. On the 16th, we got the third Cars movie.
Really? We could have just skipped this whole category, looking at the choices now.
Any input on Cars 3, gentlemen?
Well, that first trailer, that first teaser trailer,
it's
that
all
shit was really dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's pieces of the hero just sailing across the track, and you don't know what happened to this guy. That's fucking dark. I'm not going to see it. I didn't like the first or second Cars. It's the only Pixar stuff I haven't liked, and they just keep doubling and tripling down on it.
What I never got is they solve all their problems by racing each other, right? And then but they drive around, they walk around town by driving their cars, right? Their cars. But then they get up to the finish line, they drive to the finish line, and then they start their engines.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. It ruined it for me.
I mean, you ever think about how they fuck? I mean, that's got to be weird, right?
Banana in the tailpipe.
They've built they don't have hands. They just have tires. But they've built bigger semi trucks to haul each other around in. They've built towns, stadiums, roads, all this stuff.
So
there's no people. It's just cars.
Did they build them or did they breed and
Hold on.
just
Guys, I have the answer here. Because somebody's already been down this rabbit hole. He's been doing it for months. Over on Gizmodo, there is a guy who is positing that all the cars actually have humans in them that are biologically connected to all their poop goes out the exhaust pipe, and that it's basically the Matrix, except the cars are using these people as batteries.
Or is
he
it
went real deep down the hole?
Is it like a mutation, like a Titan?
There's diagrams and stuff. He went and actually interviewed the guys who made the movie to give them his wacky theories. I'll find it and I'll put it in the show.
This just sounds like Turbo Teen to me. Do you guys remember Turbo Teen?
No.
Turbo Teen was an 80s cartoon where a man turned into a car.
This is a lot more grim. This is mostly people are, the cars are hollow shells filled full of people. And maybe those people are dead. Or just can't think. But anyway, Randy, you were saying your major problem with this is that they solve all their problem-solving method is they all have races, and that whoever's the fastest wins?
Yeah.
So are you saying that racism is a huge problem?
In the world of cars, it is.
They're all racists?
They're speedist. Right? It's a form of ableism, and I don't stand for that. Okay. On the 21st, we got another Transformers. How many is that, guys?
This is why I put this on there. How many of these fucking things have they made?
They come out with one every year, right? At least every 2.
It's either 5 or 6.
6? We live in a world where there are 4 seasons of Sherlock and 5 or 6 goddamn Transformers movies.
You know, it might
You
be
know why? It's
Transformers.
because they kill it in China. They
Okay.
absolutely dominate
I'm
overseas.
looking this up. I'm getting to the bottom of it. It is
Sorry,
Transformers
China.
5.
This is not only the 5th one.
This is the 5th one. But don't
Okay.
worry, you're gonna get your solo Bumblebee movie. You're gonna get your, like they're gonna franchise this shit out like fucking Marvel does.
When did they release that first one? Was She of the Beef?
2007,
7. So in 10 years, we've had 5 of them. So yeah, every other year. That's crazy.
and it's gonna fucking start
keep going.
exponentially increasing.
And somehow 2007 was still better.
The first Transformers was fine. I'll admit it.
Nah, it was. You know, I really liked it at the time,
I was not
but
into
it does
Transformers
not
as a kid,
fucking
though.
hold up. I was a crazy person for liking it. I think I was just happy to see Transformers on screen, and I ignored Shia LaBeouf.
The second one lost me when they walk out of the back of the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. They walk out of the back of that real museum into an airplane graveyard in Arizona. Just like that.
Maybe there was their Abyss. That was their Abyss Odyssey.
I guess.
It had like a black hole outside.
It made my blood boil and drive out of my body.
Second one's pretty fucking dumb. I think this new one's gonna have Unicron in it. I'm pretty sure that's what they're showing in the trailers.
Is that like a robot that turns into a horse with a horn on it?
No,
Unicron?
that's a planet. Unicron is a
Oh.
robot planet.
Okay.
Summer's bad for TV, too, because we got Blood Drive on Syfy. On the
Have you
14th.
guys not seen the trailers for this?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't. I treat everything that comes out on the Sci-Fi Network skeptically.
It's a show about. It's a post-apocalyptic show about cars, like Mad Max style,
Not cars
driving
again.
around. Cars that run on human blood. And
Well,
like,
that's not going to work very long.
like you open the hood and like, and it's a total grindhousey like
Yeah.
That's the joke they're making.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's pictures of super hot chicks wearing next to nothing, like opening the hood of the car, and there's all these like big scary monster teeth in there, and she's just feeding this dude into the engine. It looks so fucking dumb, and I can't wait till I can find some way to watch it.
And this is gonna be a TV show or like a TV movie?
When I saw the trailer, I thought it was gonna be like a show a la like Twilight Zone or something like that, where
Oh.
it's not necessarily continuity, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't have words tonight. Anthology series.
Like, I mean, that sounds like
Anthology.
it'd be a fun movie to drink and make fun of and heckle, possibly. I mean, this may be another Sharknado situation, too.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
13 episode order. Filmed in South Africa. Set in a dystopian near future, the series features a former cop played by Alan Richson, not Alan Rickman. That would be weird. Forced to partner up with
You
Grace
would watch
D'Argento, a dangerous femme fatale who has an agenda of her own as they take part in a death race where the cars run on human blood. The first episode is called The Fucking Cop. I don't know. That sounds fun. It might wear out its welcome after a couple episodes.
I'm about to say, I don't think I
would-
could deal with that in TV show format. Like, give me a good solid, like, 90 minutes or less, okay. But if you want to watch that for 20 hours,
It's a 13 episode run. They're going to be what, 44 minutes maybe?
we'll see. I'll wait for the reviews.
Okay.
All right. On the 22nd, we've got The Mist airing on Spike. I'm going to assume that is the Stephen King adaptation. Another one. That is
Ish.
like a remake.
It
Ish?
is a. It's not about the people in the store. It's about the rest of the town.
Oh, I read that. Yeah. Okay. Is Stephen King involved at all, or is his name just attached because he has the rights or whatever?
It's an
Anybody
excellent
know?
question. I don't actually know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
And we've kind of beat that one to death on previous casts, so. But it's out
Alright.
now, so you'll be able to watch it.
On the 22nd, it's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, a bunch of Atlas news happened that I care about, and probably no one else on here does. Atlas announced they're going to bring in the new Vanillaware game that's going to come out, which is called 13 Sentinels. There's not a lot of information available on this yet, but it's going to be, I guess, something about mechs. If you aren't familiar with Vanillaware, they did such classics as Odin's Sphere and
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon
Dragon's Crown.
Sphere.
The one with the art where everyone lost their mind because the chicks had real big boobies and the guys didn't have any waists.
So expect the mechs to have big boobs that jiggle, and no, I'm a huge fan of their art style.
It's the fuel sacks.
The art style is great. It's just like the whole like homophobic stuff getting targeted at people who had what I would say are fair critiques. Like maybe a little bit less of that. Just say, I defend the art, it's stylized, and move on.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's I don't know. I mean, that could be. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna dig that hole.
It was a different time. It was back in 2014.
Yes, the heady days.
Well, and the Japanese are fairly far behind us in terms of progressiveness and accepting people who aren't like us. Like that's not.
But if you're talking about octopi, they're way down for that stuff.
Yeah, they are. Like.
More appendages means more pleasure. I mean, that's a fact.
Oh, and they're super into temporary tattoos as well, as we learned last episode.
So, let's see. They also accidentally officially announced a bunch of stuff, like some of which... Actually, pretty much all of these we already knew about, but like they hit their website, and then it was like a website malfunction, so it went down, and then they said, fuck it, just do it. So, Etrian Odyssey 5, Strange Journey Redux, and Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology were announced. Etrian Odyssey is a series that's like a Bard's Tale or Wizardry. It'll release on 3DS. But, kind of an anime bent to it. But the Etrian games are real good if you like, those old Wizardry dungeon crawler style games.
Are they first person?
I mean, it's a first-person dungeon crawler. Like, I mean, it'd be Wizardry, like, when it stopped being text, was that 3 or 4 through 6, somewhere in there?
Yeah, those were all... Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's
I thought you were just using a shorthand that I didn't know because I didn't play most of those. But that's awesome.
Yeah, no, like, they're... The 3DS has a bunch of those, actually, so...
3DS, right. Well, there goes that.
Let's see, and then they also announced Strange Journey Redux. This is Strange Journey from the original DS. It's a Shin Megami Tensei game. The storyline is basically these people get into this... they basically go to Antarctica and dig a hole in this military operation to try and save the world. And it turns into a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Are you sure this isn't Alien vs. Predator? I think this might be Alien vs. Predator.
It's not, no. Is that the same storyline from Alien vs. Predator?
It is almost the exact storyline. Like, we found a pyramid under Antarctica.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then that is the exact same storyline. So, this is also in the vein of Wizardry or Bard's Tale, so it'll be that first-person, turn-based dungeon crawler type thing.
It's a first-person AVP. Oh, wait, there was already a first-person AVP. It's a turn-based AVP.
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. But it's I really liked it on 3DS until I got to the level that had both spinners, which, because these games you move in a grid, right, when you're moving around the dungeon. So what a spinner does is it spits you out on a random square that surrounds the current one you're on. So this dungeon had spinners and darkness, which means you can't see anything, obviously. So...
it's a bad combo.
Yeah.
It's like being in the 7-Eleven after everyone goes home. Yeah. And you're just sitting there with those $10 fucking chunks of plastic that are totally useless that everyone's trying to sell these days.
Oh, and I should also mention both these games have map drawing utilities in them. So, like your top screen,
that's cool.
You're
like
walking around
content.
your bottom screen. You're kind of like it does a little bit of auto draw for you, but you can add like notes and shit like that to it. So,
that's an excellent idea. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, that was I really loved Etrian Odyssey when it came out because of that, but there's a bit too much grinding. And then the last one of the 3, Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. This was originally released for PS2 and then re-released for either DS or 3DS. I forget which one. I forget the shtick with Radiant Historia, but it's basically a turn-based JRPG. So some of the people who like it I think, really like it. I think there's some... type of major story deviations or something in this one in terms of what you can do, but I could be entirely wrong. I don't remember it that well, so that's all for the Atlas news.
I'm going to put it in chat here. I found the link for the horrifying car-person amalgamation, sort of the overall theory for that. And if you scroll down a little bit, it's probably 3 or 4 pictures down. It says, Physiology of Pixar's Cars, the Homunculus Theory. And it's super fucked up. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes as well for everyone. Anyway, I'm sorry. So Nintendo realizes it's 2017, and they've decided to catch up to 2017 in 2018. They finally revealed or sort of amended the details on what it says Switch Online, but I guess we're just going to call this Nintendo's Game Pass, or Nintendo Plus, or whatever you want to call it. And they're going to have for $20 a year, they're going to let you do your online play and your online matchmaking and all that stuff, and voice chat all through your phone. But then they're also going to have games. They're sort of like a Netflix for games kind of thing. A lot like I think this Microsoft Game Pass is going to work. I don't think you're going to have every single Xbox 360 and Xbox One game that ever come out. I don't think they're all going to eventually end up on that Game Pass. They're going to have a chunk of 100 that sort of rolls in and out. And it sounds like Nintendo's going to do the same thing. I think they said they're starting with 30 games, I think, between Nintendo and, I think, 64.
So I'm confused. Is this did they ditch the we're going to give you 1 game a month and you can only play it during that month thing?
This is replacing that. Yes, this is replacing you're paying for timed demos kind of thing.
Okay. Well, that's good news. That sounds much better, but I don't know.
Nintendo adds its subscribers will get free versions of classic games with added online features citing Super Mario Bros. 3, okay, Balloon Fight, and Dr. Mario. All right.
Man,
I don't.
What's weird to me is that this says chat and lobby features won't be on the Switch. You'll have to have a smartphone app and connect through that.
And same thing goes for the fucking voice chat.
Yeah, that's
getting an
really
app
dumb
on your phone to run through Nintendo servers instead of just calling somebody. It's between that and the friend codes, whatever.
That's awful.
You don't need voice chat. You just don't ever.
Were you guys expecting this to be good? I mean, I don't like the fact that it's going to be like a Games Pass thing that's just an ever-growing library is way more appealing than that.
Oh, it's
the
way
voice
better.
chat thing, I mean, you're lucky that they aren't charging you like an extra $5 for that app. Hell, they might be. That
they
might be an
charge
additional
for the app.
charge.
Who knows? They don't say one way or the other.
It costs money to put that app on the iTunes store. They're going to need that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Our new dedicated smart device app will connect Nintendo Switch and let you invite friends to play online.
So, that's it. It sounds like it's all the, dashboard functionality of, inviting people. I thought I saw you could, schedule a play date or something like that, and I guess everyone maybe get a push notification.
I mean, honestly...
Which is kind of a cool idea.
This doesn't say much. It says a free, limited version of this app will be available for download this summer, but, is that... So free, but this is the limited. When the full one comes out, is that going to be $10?
So, okay. So, putting this bullshit aside... I kind of like the idea of these, granted, Microsoft and Sony won't follow suit, but, I mean, how much bandwidth problems do we always have? And how much do fucking sending voice over IP, I mean, that's got to add to the bandwidth we're already sucking up, so why not just fucking put it on the cell network?
I don't have any
Again, this is something Joey could help us with.
I don't have any bandwidth issues at all. And here's the other thing, I don't have an infinite cell data plan. And also, when I walk in my house, my phone automatically connects to my Wi-Fi. So not only am I still going through that channel...
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
I'm eating into... It's not really, if my options are use my home data budget as far as, going over the cap or my cell, that's no fucking brainer because it's way bigger for my home connection.
No, yeah, that's a good point. There's no way they're going to fucking send this over a phone line. It's going to use data. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of they talk, the commercials all showing people taking their Switch and going to a rooftop party. And okay, but so there's probably not going to be Wi-Fi there, so yeah, you're going to run into some data problems.
Yeah, don't forget the dickhead who grabs someone's Switch and throws it off the roof. I mean, Jesus.
Or, you spill a beer all over it. Those pads aren't cheap.
These fucking millennials are violent. They throw that shit. No, that doesn't.
Well, you take them to a dog park. You take them to the baseball game.
Yeah.
Anywhere where you don't want to interact with the people you went with, but like it's too polite to just take out your phone.
Anywhere full of tripping hazards and concrete. That's where I'm going to take my device.
Yeah. Their new game is just Pokemon Thunk.
Yeah. Crack.
All right. And then we got Ed McMillan announced that he's got a new game coming out. He is the Binding of Isaac guy, the Super Meat Boy guy. And for years, he's been talking about a game about breeding cats called Mewgenics, which it's a great title, isn't it?
Well, I'm just laughing at the idea of breeding cats. The title's good too, but anyway.
And of course, they can all have horrible deformities because he's Ed McMillan. I guess that, yeah, right. I'm assuming that's been kind of put on hold indefinitely because he's got a new IP coming out. It looks very Meat Boy-ish. It's called The End Is Nigh. I don't know that I'm going to be super into it. It is very precise. I mean, it's Super Meat Boy-ish. Super Meat Boy-ish. It's super precise jumping, looks like really tight controls. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome game of that type, because the man does not make bad games. But I don't know that it's going to match up with my interest.
Jumping platformers aren't really my cup of tea.
Well, and super difficult ones, I'm sure it's going to be a great product, and it's going to find its market, and it's probably going to be a big market, because he's gotten a lot more...
he's got some cred.
Yeah, he's got cred. He's kind of famous at this point. It's out on July 12th, so it's actually right around the corner, so we'll know sooner rather than later.
Couple casts.
So again, that's The End Is Nigh.
So speaking of things that we probably won't like and possibly don't care about, we're getting a new Bubsy game. Bubsy is evidently a cat that wears a t-shirt and is a 2D platformer.
It's a catformer.
And Jake put this on this list and wanted me to read it. So blame him for my attitude right now.
I was playing Bubsy back on, I want to say, the Genesis?
I don't remember this at all. I didn't
only had
either.
Oh, it was during that time when everybody was trying to make all their animal mascots, and he was a failed one. But
he's
I was like
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, he actually is. He was probably maybe 2 years before that. But yeah, he's a sassy cat.
Right? Yeah, they all are.
I don't know. I remember having a lot of fun with that game, and granted, I was probably 10.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was looking at. And it looks like it's going to be like a $15 to $20 PSN game / Steam download, and it kind of looks like it's going to be updated, with modern graphics and yada yada yada, and still be sort of a side-scrolling platformer. And I don't know. I'll probably, just for nostalgia's sake, I'll probably give it a play. That people give Bubsy a lot of shit, and he deserves a lot of shit. But I just remember having so much fun with that game when I was a kid that I would try it again. The 3D one looks terrible, and they haven't touched the series in 21 years or something like that. But that's out this fall.
Okay.
All right.
Oh wait, is this our last one?
There's one more. There's one more.
Oh god damn it!
Oh god, that's right. Jesus. Okay, so this just happened to me today. So we threw it on the end of the list.
To you.
You can hear the official letter I received.
Oh jeez.
So GameStop sent me a letter saying that somebody might have gotten my credit card information, which is scary. But what's scarier about it is it says information associated with the order being placed, including the customer's name, address, payment card number, expiration date, and security code, may have been obtained by an unauthorized third party. And this is if you bought anything on their website. It sounds bad, but it sounds kind of par for the course these days. Yeah. And then I saw the dates that it could have happened during. And those dates are April 8th. I'm sorry, nope. Those dates are August 10th of 2016 through February 9th, 2017.
Could have happened anywhere in there.
6 goddamn months. And so I was thinking, since I just got this letter today, I'm thinking, well, I don't want to bring this up if it's old news, so let me go online and see if it's old news. And sure enough, the press found out about this possible leak back on April 10th, and this letter is dated June 2nd. So they waited 2 months to tell me that somebody took all my info from them and could be spending my money. So there's another reason to go fuck yourself, GameStop.
You guys remember how pissed everyone was at Sony for fucking just the credit card number and the username.
Yeah, this is way, way worse. It's man.
Does anybody still shop there?
You know what? You know what? There's. It's probably just like I'm gonna go to my statement and look back like 3 months, and just like every 2 weeks, real quiet, they'll sell like one of those gamer cards where it's like you can get 10% extra on your trade-ins, or like a Game Informer subscription. They just sneak them in every couple of weeks.
Jake,
so I don't
I'm gonna
notice.
go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and victim blame a little bit here and just tut you for still shopping at GameStop.
Man.
Well, here's the thing. I like to play sports games, and I'm not paying $60 for a roster update every year.
Yeah, that's true.
So I get the one from 2 years back, and it comes to my house.
I miss the NCAA football games. They're never coming back.
Oh. No, it's because they had indentured servants as unpaid employees.
Yeah.
Welcome to
That's
Hoopscast.
another cast. That's another cast.
All right. What'd you see in the theater this week, John?
I saw Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman. I don't know how that song goes. But yeah, the movie's pretty good. I don't love it as much as everyone else. So forewarned, if you just are wanting me to celebrate this movie and give glowing reviews of it, that's not me. I'm a strong, like 3.5 out of 5 stars on it. I think it's really good. I think it's hands and feet, or whatever the fuck
Is that
the
a
phrase
saying?
is. I don't think that's a phrase.
It's hands and feet above the rest.
It is way better than anything else that DC has done. Like
It's got to be the best of this current run, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, even like people like
That's
really,
not a high bar either, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, even people like really heralding the fucking Richard Donner Superman movies, and I'm sure at the time they were really good. I'm not a fan.
Are those the old school ones with Christopher Reeve?
Yes.
You will believe that man can fly if you can really suspend your disbelief.
I haven't seen any of those in 20 years.
They do not hold up, in my
Probably
opinion. I don't know. They might to you. I might be completely wrong.
Tell you
No,
what, that theme does though.
Theme, super awesome.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing John Williams was good at, was making a theme. But the rest of his scores fucking blow goats.
Spoiler for the end of the first movie. Lois dies. He goes around the Earth and spins it backwards to turn back time and unkill Lois. There was a retcon in the first fucking movie.
Yep. He never did it again. And the second movie pulled off some cellophane from his chest and trapped the guy for a few seconds.
the saran wrap. Oh, that's what the S stands for. The saran wrap shield they just pulled off and winged at him.
So, in my opinion, the final boss fight in Wonder Woman, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I am going to make a comparison. This final boss fight in Wonder Woman that you know that's coming since near the beginning of the movie, it to me is the equivalent of Superman taking that S and it turning into saran wrap and trapping a guy. Like, that is on par with that. What the fuck? Why is this going this way? But like overall, I think the movie's it's pretty good. I don't think everyone's praising Gal Gadot. I think they're mistaken. I think they're entirely mistaken. I think she.
Well, the politics have creeped into it.
Let's just put politics aside and put aside even that I want to buff
That's
MMA
where the
chick
glowing
playing
reviews
Wonder
are.
Woman. Like Gal Gadot, like the special effects action scenes look fucking awesome. Any scene that just relies on Gal Gadot. I'm sorry. Everyone's been saying the T in her last name recently, so I guess I'm wrong there.
Gil Gadot.
Whenever she
Israel,
throws a
not
punch,
France, so I
she
don't know.
doesn't throw a punch. She just kind of moves her arm there. So it's like for me that was not convincing. And you know maybe there's
Which
something.
is strange because she's like a trained soldier.
She's just not a convincing actor at all. In my opinion, and I think that works for Wonder Woman's sense of because she's a very awkward character going in a World War I world, but I think that is to her benefit in a lot of those situations, in terms of feeling out of place and whatnot. She's just not good at displaying any other emotions. Everyone's got this.
She seemed pretty good in Batman vs. Superman, but that's because she was supposed to be mysterious and not reveal anything to anyone. So yeah, that seems like that's her perfect skill set.
Yeah. So as long as she sticks along those lines, that's fine. And not all the scenes in this movie calls for that. So, you know, she does, in my opinion, she flubs some of that. But that's okay. Like, even good things can be criticized. And I love criticizing everything.
I was going to go see it on Tuesday, and then I looked it up, and like the first show I could have made it to was like 7:15 or 7:30. The running time, 2 hours and 30 minutes, plus 20 minutes of ads and previews, and then like, oh, you got to wait for the stinger at the end. Like, I'm not dumping 3 hours of my life into this fucking movie. Sorry.
There is no stinger at the end.
Oh, okay.
So, so something I also didn't realize while the movie was going on, I already forgot how to say her name. Hippolyte, is that how you say it? Hippolyte? I don't know. Oh, God damn it. Why are none of you guys Greek buffs to save me?
You're the one who saw
this?
the movie, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I forgot. Whatever. Okay.
If I had to guess, I would say Hippolyte is probably how you say it.
Okay. So
Hippolyte.
The Amazon general, basically, like not her mom, but the general, is played by the chick who played Princess Buttercup in The Princess Bride, which did not occur to me through that all. You know, and that same chick also plays the wife on House of Cards too, but House of Cards.
You're talking about Robin Wright.
Yeah.
Robin Wright was Princess Buttercup?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You're making me doubt myself now that you're asking me that, but yeah.
Who's the queen of the Amazons?
That's a
do they have an Amazon Prime?
Yeah, they do. They do have an Amazon Prime. I don't remember who plays it. I will have to look it up. But
I don't care who it is. I just wanted to make that joke that you just all apparently thought was shitty.
I figured that would just be an at-home thing. Okay, it was not a... I'm sorry. I got all the names mixed up. So Hippolyta was the fucking queen, played by Connie Nelson, and Robin Wright played Antelope. That's not her name.
She played an antelope. She was the front two legs and the head.
Antelope, I think is how you say it.
Oh my god.
But seriously,
all right,
she
Antelope.
played fucking Antelope.
In the credits at the beginning, and Robin Wright as the antelope.
But no, like it was cool seeing her pop up, and like seeing the Amazons fight was cool. Like they had their own style where they had to kind of bend over backwards to fight everyone. Like literally, like all their... Like, they'd be on a horse, and they're like, instead of just hitting this dude, I'm gonna bend over all the way back and hit the... Like, it was cool looking. Even if it was...
That's where the true power comes from the core.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, they really, you know, DC Greek myth, I mean, kind of just ignores 90% of Greek myths, so it is what it is. But, like...
It's like Marvel and Norse myth.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty well.
Pick and choose, do what you want, run with it.
Even less, like, they somehow managed to ignore it even more than Marvel ignores how Norse myth goes. But
well, you also got 70 years of comics, like trying to still write stories about this stuff. So yeah, there's just a lot of magic now. Like Circe's just magic.
Yeah. Well, there's not like I guess. Whatever. It is what it is. But like the first like half of the movie I think is really good. They have some kind of dead zones in the second act that I noticeably felt myself getting tired during, but they don't last.
The first
long.
hour's okay, the middle hour's rough, and the third hour is good right up until the silly saran wrap.
The middle hour is more like 25% rough and 75% pretty good. The third act like has some good pieces to it, and it like. Even though, in my opinion, they completely flubbed the final boss battle, like, the emotional beats they need to hit during and before that, I think they do really well. Like, I was a little teary-eyed at the end.
John?
But I mainly attribute that to, I guess, Chris Pine. I feel sexist talking about this movie. I don't want to feel sexist, but Chris Pine's a really good actor, evidently.
Yeah, Chris Pine's awesome.
He fucking delivered.
The movie is literally about a wondrous woman. Like, it's kind of tough to be sexist about this. Like, if you really like the movie...
I'm not getting that from you at all.
Well, it's like the strongest female protagonist in the DC universe. I think you'd be all right, John.
I mean, like, she gets a lot of good action sequences, you know, so long as you don't have to try and judge her on her fighting prowess. Like her... I'm not selling this good. So long as you don't, like...
It's more sexist not to criticize it.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if she's smashing, like, a tank or a building or some bullshit like that, you know, like you're believing it because you're getting a cool special effects shot and it looks badass with her doing it, or it looks cool with her using her shield or bracelets to take out bullets. But like if it's her like fist fighting some dude, then it's kind of you could have made that look better, Gal Gadot.
So I was looking Gal Gadot, damn it.
Get it.
I was looking up. Because I was like, I think somebody made an invisible jet joke, and I was like, there's no fucking way in 2017 that they bring back the invisible jet. And I guess they're talking about having that in the sequel. But that made me start wondering.
Before jets.
Well, that made me start wondering how she got this fucking invisible jet in the first place, and how dumb of an idea that was. Well, it turns out that her mom, she just iterated upon her mom's invisible biplane that she built to start with. So like her mom had the invisible the prop plane, and then Wonder Woman, having gone through all the engineering school,
she appropriated that and made a jet
and improved it. Yeah,
a jet is an improvement.
I don't know how apparently there's a whole bunch of oil on Themyscira that they can make jet fuel out of and all that.
Oh, another thing, I really hate the Wonder Woman theme that they introduced in Batman v Superman. I realize a lot of people like that.
It's super awesome, and you're way wrong, but yes, continue.
Well, it's barely in the movie, so I was very thankful for that.
That's what I was doing when we brought it up. That's what I was doing.
Oh,
that's
okay. Let's put a really shitty distortion on a really shitty sounding cello line and completely take you out of the moment in the movie by distracting you with this shitty song. But go ahead and tell me how good it is.
Songs
okay, that would be like if you were at a 4th of July barbecue and you're eating your burger and you're having a really good conversation with like a cousin that you almost never get to talk to. And then you get distracted by these fireworks going off, but they're really rad fireworks. And it turns out that they just explode a whole bunch of perfectly cooked steaks onto all your plates. Like, that's good distraction. It's a fucking rad thing.
Nah.
Who cares if it's distracting?
Nah, you're wrong there.
It's a steak firework.
You were wrong, sir. You probably
I'm going to have to listen to this and settle this argument on the next cast.
Like, the overall Wonder Woman soundtrack isn't bad, but I feel bad that they're saddled with that shitty theme. Anyway. That's probably all I got to say about Wonder Woman. Like, I think it's pretty good. It's a movie I'm going to want to see again. I will probably want to own it because I still think, like, it does a lot of good things, and I think it's disingenuous to, I think a lot of fault of modern day criticism is being overly diminutive about things. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's just Thor and Captain America, the movie, you know, but in DC with a chick, and that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, you're ignoring all the details of the movie. All the details fucking matter. Yes, you could say, okay, she draws from Greek myth, Thor draws from Norse myth. Yes, fucking Captain America was during World War, and so was she. And yeah, there are probably some various scenes throughout the movie you could probably draw lines to as well. But, like,
I don't know.
All three of the movies have completely different emotional arcs and focuses and details and relationships to them, and it's not fair to say bullshit like that. So
it's not fair.
It's not fair, man. It's not fair. Anyway, so speaking
of completely overpowered people who kill a bunch of people.
Yeah. So my Friday the 13th Kickstarter came in, and evidently a long time ago I decided I was getting it for PS4 because I didn't remember making that decision.
I thought that game had been out for a while. You just got it? Like a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, no, I got it when I kickstarted it for $25. So I got it then. I've only played it a couple times because one of the big faults of the game is you're gonna wait like 10 minutes to get in a fucking match.
Yeah,
one of the faults of the game not playable.
But like when you get in, it's a really stupid game, but it's really fun.
Error 404, Jason not found.
Okay, so the game has never crashed on me. I hear that's a problem with some people. The only thing I've had to wait for is that initial load time. Once you're in a lobby, just fucking stay in the lobby. But and the other thing is I had some people talking shit about everyone who weren't using mics in lobbies. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking use a mic. So the way this game works is it's a 1v8 game. So one person is Jason. He can teleport around.
1v8 or 1v7? I thought it was 8 total.
Oh, well, maybe it's 1v7. I don't remember. It doesn't fucking matter, does it? Does whether I'm +1 or -1 matter? I don't think it matters. So the point of the game, if you're Jason, obviously, is to kill everyone. If you're the counselors, the goal is to escape. And Jason can hear you the faster you move. And you can tell whenever Jason gets nearby because you start hearing his type, shit in the background.
And when he can like teleport and stuff, and then if you're a camper, they hide that goofy, like he just spawned in a puff of leaves. They hide that with like an old school VCR distortion, like your fast forwarding effect.
Yeah.
That's very cool and a very clever idea. Because how do you make Jason teleport in front of a character without looking silly?
Yeah. And and you have a button that will actually just straight up show you what's behind you too, so that's convenient. The campers can't really fight Jason effectively. Like I've read about people online killing him. I haven't seen it happen. Your best bet is to slow him down and knock him over and find a means of escape. And your means of escape are you call the cops, which then starts a countdown timer that's 5 minutes. And when the cops get there, you can just run towards them and you'll escape. But that also does not cause all the campers to escape. Like everyone has to actually escape. So other options are you find a car battery, gas, and car keys and escape in the car. Which I got.
And the car takes a super long time to repair.
Yeah.
Like depending on your character, because all the counselors have different stats and stuff. Mm-hmm. But man, I haven't played this, but I've been watching a bunch of streams on it. And man, that shit takes a while to put in. Ladies.
Yeah, it's not a great bet, but at the same time, because like you're just spawned somewhere randomly on the map, and all the items are spawned somewhere randomly, and you can do the same shit with a boat too, as well, by the way. But point being is, you got to kind of go through a bunch of drawers and cabins and shit and find it.
You got to find the keys in Jason's drawers.
Yeah. So, like, one of the matches I really liked was I had seen some guy put the car battery in, and I was looking around, and I'm like, oh shit, I found the car keys, and then I got like a health kit and all this other shit, and then I start hearing the Jason music, and I run into a cabin and close the door and blockade it, and some of the cabins have these bear traps, so I put one of those down, and then Jason broke all the windows, because Jason can't go through windows, but campers can, but it'll damage you if you go through a broken window.
And he can tag you with the machete through a window, right?
I believe so. He's like throwing knives or some shit he throws. I don't think it's a machete.
But his arm, like if the window's open, his arm will like clip through the wall. I think he can tag you.
I don't know. I haven't really been standing by windows, but
that's good policy.
He eventually trapped me in a cabin, and I ran to the back thinking there was a window there, and there wasn't. It was just a hallway that went to kind of a dead end, and he killed me there. And then it was just like my corpse on the ground with the keys next to it. And then after you die, like, to me, I really enjoy this part too, because after you die, you can scroll through the various camp counselors and see either Jason killed him in an absurd way, like, because he can, like, one, as you gain points and level up, you can choose Jason from different movies, and he'll use different weapons. So, like, if you want to see him fucking spear someone, or if you want to see him, like, pick someone up and crush their head, or crazy shit like that. Like, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun seeing people panicking, and they do that kind of radial chat thing.
Proximity voice.
Yes, proximity voice. So you get that a lot too, but it
Actually,
also makes it.
I don't mean to interrupt, but before I forget, I wanted to tell a really funny story about the stream that I was watching. It's regarding that proximity chat. So like. It was four people on Twitch all kind of playing together, but I only had the view of the one. So I could hear the voice chat for the other 3 people, but like they were playing with 3 or 4 other counselors who they weren't necessarily in contact with. So I guess at the start of the map, one of the guys like tried to like be like, well, hey, let's stick together to this group of 4. Well, not to the whole group, but to one of the members, and then like. Didn't wait for a response or something. Just started being super shitty. Started being super shitty online 16-year-old. And they're talking about this as like their plan, because there's kind of a lot of downtime in the game when you're watching. And so they're talking about this. They got the car, they got the keys, they got the gas. and all four of them get in the car and they're driving away, and they run across the dude who was talking shit and I think tried to stab one of the guys at the beginning of the match, which hobbles you, and then you can't get away from Jason. And so they saw this guy, and he was just going, wait, no. And then so I guess they turned around the camera, and you could see him kind of chasing the car down the road, and then you saw Jason behind him walking up, and it was like, oh, that's so cool.
Nice. And that shit, that's not uncommon. Because Jason has a huge fucking advantage over everyone, obviously. The one time I escaped in a car, Jason somehow managed to kill the guy in the seat next to me. The car started out driving one way, and then it turned out to be the dead end, and then they had to kind of go in reverse through almost the whole fucking camp.
Which is great, because that's a Friday the 13th movie. It's like you were playing a movie.
Yeah. So, all this said, the game has a lot of jank. A lot of fucking jank. I've seen tons of Jason kills where he picks the guy up and the guy's floating to the right of his hand instead. And just...
Oh, the character models are awful.
Yeah, no, they're pretty bad.
Everybody but Jason.
They're really bad. It's I do enjoy that it is always the same. When the match starts, it's always you're at a campfire, some guy runs up, and then Jason kills him. And then it's the same fucking blonde-haired guy with the sweater tied around his neck that turns around and looks panicked every time. It's I love that it's the fucking preppy ass whatever stereotype 80s guy that does it. But
there's one other cool thing I wanted to bring up, and that's that. Oh god, and I forget the name of the kid/guy who was in the movies. He was the only character aside from Jason that actually made it from movie to movie. When he was a kid. There was one movie where he was a kid, I want to say Jason 3, Friday the 13th 3 maybe. And then in 4, he's in an insane asylum, and then in 5, he goes back to Camp Crystal Lake. Long story short, Jason comes back to life. But anyway, this guy, when he was a kid, he was played by Christian Slater, which is super weird. Christian Slater? Not Christian Slater. Maybe? I think so. I'll look it up. Anyway, if one of the characters dies and someone else gets to a payphone, they can call, one of the counselors. So, okay, guy 1 and guy 2, guy 3. Guy 1, Jason axes him. Guy 2 finds a payphone and makes a call. He's actually calling that character who, shows up to the rescue with a shotgun. And player 1, who died, takes over that character that's showing up in his car with the shotgun to save the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool, but see, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, they might have just been doing this goofy on the stream. You can't spectate other players after you die, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can? Okay. They must have just had the score screen up or were leaving too early.
Yeah,
because I was going to say, that's really shitty downtime just hoping someone brings you back.
No. Yeah, no, that's what I was just talking about. You can... I mean, that's half the match most of the time because you're going to die, a lot. So
the way you were saying it, I got the impression. I'm glad you cleared this up because I thought you were saying you could go to the score screen and select people's profile to see how they died that round or something.
No,
okay.
Immediately after you die, you have the option. It says press button to spectate, and you press it, and then you can just left and right through them all. And it's funny because whenever you enter a character who Jason's nearby, it'll do this orchestra hit. And if you find two of them right next to each other, you can just go back and forth, and if it...
That's what happens whenever I enter a character.
If it would...
There's a symphony in the background.
Dun! If you could change the notes, you could make the Mortal Kombat theme song, but...
I'm sure there's 40 versions of that on YouTube already.
To me, this is the perfect, $10 game or PS Plus or Xbox Gold game. I think they should jump on this. All my friends, unfortunately, picked it up for Xbox One, so I can't play with anyone. But, I really enjoy the game. I'd love to play with some friends if anyone picks it up. Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of skill to it. I mean, you do get some goofy moments with, Jason is hacking down the door, and it takes him a minute. But he's also kind of waiting for you to hop out the window so you can run around the corner. So, he can hack down the door and you could jump out, and then he could run around the corner, and he may not have finished the door, so you might just jump back in the thing, and he'll go back in the front, and like...
Jason doesn't run, son.
Well, you know what I mean. He doesn't run in the game.
He's not Jay Run.
Yeah. But my point being is you get these goofy moments with you guys. You know, it's like when you're walking down the hall and someone's coming towards you and neither of you are sure whether to go left or right. Like
right.
It's really kind of that, but with a window and a door.
They had to tweak some of the... I think there's a patch that came out trying to fix some of these server issues, but also some of the details in it were like, hey, we turned this cooldown on one of Jason's powers down a little bit because people just kept doing like a Benny Hill running around a car, like just forever running around the car, like because you can just always... You're faster than Jason because he just, does that real menacing walk. So like just keeping an object between you and him, or like, waist-high fence. People were just running back and forth, and he couldn't get over them.
Oh man, yeah, that would suck. I would hate to be because like the way you level up, you get the most points for just spectating to the end of the match, or surviving to the like either way. Like if you make it to the end of the match, whether you're alive or dead, you get like 500 experience points or whatever. So like you got a big incentive to do that because that's the most points you get for basically anything in the game. So if I have to watch 5 minutes someone run around a car with Jason just not catching them, that would really piss me off.
Yeah, obviously full disclosure, like I said before, I haven't played it myself. Looks like it's not real fun if you're not Jason, which is a pretty significant issue.
I think it's pretty fun if you're not Jason. I have not been Jason yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I've enjoyed my time as camp counselors. Like I am not playing this like a fucking... I'm not playing this like a hardcore multiplayer person. I'm hopping in for a couple matches and leaving kind of thing. I've only played a couple nights because, again, it takes 10 minutes to get in a fucking match. But I really enjoy the game. I'd like to play with some friends sometimes. So if anyone picks it up, maybe I can make myself actually hop in with some friends and play. But anyway.
So speaking of people who also want to kill all their friends, House of Cards Season 5 came out. That's spoilers. Underwoods. Politics are dirty. So I kind of was shitting on it a little bit, I think, when we talked about it in the releases last episode. Because I seemed to remember, like, really kind of not liking the third and fourth seasons, and like, the writing kind of goes off the rails a little bit. And so I rewatched most of all of Season 4 and a little bit of Season 3. And yeah, the writing isn't always perfect. Some of the storylines are better than others. If you watch the preview, it's pretty clear that he's the president now. We're in Season 5. Sorry, he made it to president. And it's a much more interesting show when he is not in power versus when Frank Underwood, played by Kevin Spacey, is in power. But they sort of had a little bit of a dip, but it's really coming back. And even when the writing's not incredible, the acting it's just amazing acting. The sets and the set design are all like Mad Men level of detail, and holy shit, I can't believe they put this much work into it. The direction and just the editing, the direction, the cinematography, like how the camera moves, all that stuff is just top notch. Like it makes it easy to understand why Netflix, although we didn't mention any of them this week, why Netflix is putting out basically a new series or special every 2 to 3 days. Because when they clearly know how to do it when they pour the resources behind it. Mm-hmm. They're doing some real cool stuff with Season 5 so far. I'm on episode 12 out of 13. And I was trying to take a nap before the show because I coming straight off of work. I would be too fried. So I try and take a little nap or at least lay down for a while before we do the shows. And of course I have a parade of children stomping on my ceiling, so that didn't happen. But in the episode I was watching, there was like a huge, like, not twist, but like a holy shit, like I actually audibly gasped when it happened. I go, oh! By myself in my bed, looking at like my 4-inch phone screen, just going, oh! I'm an an aghast Southern lady. It's super good. It's super good. I'm very glad they made a season 5. And apparently I was super just stuck on 5s last 2 weeks because I went back to Metal Gear Solid 5. And I got to this point where there's like you're trying to assault this base and the base with the skull face.
Skullface base.
Skullface base. Hashtag Skullface base. He's hiding out in there, and you're trying to infiltrate this base and get to him and interrogate him or something. And there's an attack helicopter patrolling this base, and I've done probably an hour and a half. Months ago when I picked this up, I'd done probably an hour and a half trying to get that mission completed. Couldn't do it. Well, then I was thinking about it last week, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. I built a rocket launcher. And man, that game is super easy with a rocket launcher.
Everything's easier with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, making dinner. Little mac and cheese.
Certainly catching dinner.
Well, because you can catch it. You literally have to catch your dinner out of the air piece by piece.
Yep.
I mean, if you want some fresh ground beef cooked, I mean...
Yeah, you get beef, you get ground, you get
were
everything.
talking about steak fireworks earlier. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
You catapult a cow in the air.
Whoa!
And then you nail it with the RPG. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they make that noise.
Perfectly
Okay, so that's what you do. You don't need a catapult. You just get the Fulton, and you attach the balloon to him, and then when it yanks him up in the air, that's when you hit him with the rocket.
Okay.
And then it's a steak rain.
Yep.
Anyway, it's super fun. I don't have a lot more to say on it, but I wanted to bring it up because it was awesome.
All right, cool. So rocket launchers and
we got any emails here, John?
We do. We have both.
Whoa!
All right.
It's a crazy day. So, the Naked Pear asks us on Twitter.
That's Late Elf over at TVG.
Like the fruit or the count of things.
Like the fruit.
Okay. So it's like a skinned pear, I guess.
Also,
the pear is paired. It's a paired pear.
Yeah. Although his textual name is harder than it looks, but yeah, Late Elf. He says, any interest / info on this one? Looks great to me. Love DMZ. And he links to a Dark Horse comic. I honestly missed this tweet when he sent it, and therefore have not read it. But
remind me what the title of it was.
Briggs Land.
Briggs Land, that's right. So I did not read the whole thing. I have trouble with comics because I go immediately face blind whenever I try and make it through one. But I read like the first 10 or 12 panels, and it seems pretty rad. And it's really appropriate that he sent us that tweet last week, because it basically looks like sort of a prequel, or like I could see Ubisoft putting this comic out as like a pre-order bonus, or like a hype tool for Far Cry 5.
Oh, wow.
Because it's about
okay.
about survivalist, but the mob. It's some pretty cool stuff.
I'll have to check it out. And the link he sent us, like the first 3 issues are free. So, okay.
Yeah, there's 3 downloads.
There's
3 downloads. One, there's like 2 smaller files, and then there's a zip that has all of the episodes.
Yeah.
Issues.
Oh, that's it. It was issues 1 and 2. I'm sorry. And the third download was both of them together. That's why I was confused. So.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. So we also got an email from Christopher. He says, I miss Scotty, Joey, and Lauren. Y'all mofos is what... Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This one will be... It'll hurt, but it's fine. Y'all
they're the legacy
I can
characters.
take it.
That's okay.
I've been on this cast in the day.
Y'all mofos chemistry is what got me into the cast. I know times change. I just hope y'all can do it again sometime. I'd really like Joey's take on this bastard child Dark Tower movie. Effingham Stephen King is a money-hungry cockmonger. My bad, I get a little worked up sometimes.
So that does not sound like Christopher is very excited.
Well, he's got more, but like to be clear, like I miss all those people too. Like Joey and Lauren both have kids, and Joey's really only free to play disc golf from my interactions with him. And Lauren teaches a class now too. So like they're both super.
Joey was on for a while when we started back up, and then it was just like, kids, man, like I got too many of them now.
he can't find the hour and a half, and that sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. He just really can't.
Well, I mean, it's adulthood, like, because I mean, before we moved to this format, the rebooted thing, we would get together at my house. And it would be a fucking...
And this is before they had kids.
Yeah, and this was a 4-hour fucking process because
all
we
around
were supposed
the table.
to start at 8 and everyone would be late. And shit, when it finally would start, like trying to get all the subjects we wanted to just was nearly impossible.
Well, and more than that, even with this format, like it's not just the hour and a half you set aside every week. Like, because if you want to talk about anything, you have to go out and, like, interact with media. And I'm not taking a shot at you here, Randy, I swear. But, like,
I'm guilty of it.
You have to, play some games or watch some movies or watch some TV or whatever, or you're not going to have anything to talk about. And when kids are eating up all your free time.
So I'll throw Joey under the bus on this one. He plays fucking games. He reads shit. He still does all that shit still. He does. He just, unfortunately, he can't be undisturbed by his kids for an hour and a half, is the situation there. So, but I would love to have any of those people on. Well, yeah, I would love to have them on again. Scott hasn't talked to me for over a year, so that I miss Scott. I love Scott, but it probably will never happen again. So,
sorry, Chris.
Yeah. So. So second half of the email, he said...
you know those hopes you had? Fuck your hopes.
Either way, if I'm writing, I may as well try and get some Q&A time, right? My question. I'm aspiring to do a podcast. Any suggestions on the best way to come about? So with little money invested. Yeah, he really wrote that. Okay, that's a...
little money.
Sounds like he might have typed this from his phone.
Yeah, let me finish the email. So also, I think it would be a fun topic on how to come about a fairly decent desktop with minimal cash flow. Times out here are hard. We ballin' on a budget, bitch. P.S. Thanks for what you guys do. Peace.
Thanks very much for the email, Christopher.
Yeah, you can get... I mean, most of this stuff, I just use my gaming headset that I've already got. You can get a mic for $20-$30. All this software, Audacity's free, Skype's free. Right?
OBS is free if you want to stream.
Well,
upload something to YouTube for free.
So there's a couple parts to this. Like, so for the computer, I recommend going on Tom's Hardware. They regularly do.
You said Tom's Hardware, correct? Not Times Hardware.
Yes, Tom's Hardware. TOMS Hardware. They regularly do budget builds where they say, okay, what's your price? Like, is your price $500? Here's a $500 PC, and this is what you can expect.
Ars Technica does that too.
Yeah.
Every year, Ars Technica puts out a budget, a hot rod, and like a God box, and they kind of
a God box.
That's what they call it, the God box, which is
Honey,
like top of the line.
I want you to get me a God box for Christmas.
And it's kind of broken down by budget like that. And if you're set on a desktop, then that's one thing, but you can get a laptop that is good enough for podcasting for $400-$500.
Yeah, you don't need a ton for podcasting, but there's also other factors in that. You're not gonna. I don't like any of the free multi-track audio things. So if your goal, like what we do here, is we all record audio on our own PCs, and then I go back through and combine them and edit some shit out. But I've paid money for music software, so. If you don't have one of those, then one, you may consider, can you do this podcast just as a live stream and save it that way and not do the podcast part?
John, I have another suggestion.
If you wanted to, could you just capture the audio from the live stream and use that?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah.
And you can even capture it at the source without, running it through another program and then, praying it doesn't, in the encoding doesn't get fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a program called Pamela, which basically will just record your Skype calls. So if you're doing a podcast over Skype, you can just run it through Pamela, and at the end of it, it's just recorded and ready to go.
Yeah, I think Pamela's either $30 or $40.
Oh, you know what? It is. I'm sorry. I forgot when I was doing Game Club, I had procured a code.
In these days, I don't know how old this or how recent this is. It seems fairly recent, but you can live stream through YouTube.
Yeah.
And I know that all those live streams typically stay up on those people's channels for later viewing.
Well, and also keep in mind, like when you're live streaming, especially with like multiple video feeds, you don't need a 1080p camera. Like you can survive with 720 because you're only going to take.
You don't need don't need a camera at all. Look at Jake.
Granted, in another 5 years, I'm sure like the 4K thing will be more prominent. But right now, I think you're fine doing that. The other part to it is a podcasting service. A lot of people just do their shit to SoundCloud now, and I'm not really sure how that works. But we use Libsyn, and that's $20 a month. It gets us so much, like basically they charge us for what we upload each month, and then all the archive stuff is free. And they give me some stat tracking and things like that. I really like Libsyn, and they'll get you on iTunes and all that.
The stat tracking is good. The only thing I would say, starting on a budget, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think, if you don't count the cost of my computer, I have a windscreen, which I think is $12. I have an XLR mic, which is, what brand is this? It's dark and I can't see. It's a Audio-Technica P48, and I think it was $65, maybe even $50. You can probably find them on sale from time to time. And then I have a XLR to USB adapter, micro USB, that was, I don't know, maybe $25. So, I think we sound pretty good, and that's for $100. But the other thing I would say, especially if you don't, like this is going to sound condescending, and I don't mean to, it's just a different approach. If you don't want to mess with the multi-track mixer and all that stuff and go in and edit, you do need to be prepared. And I had this problem a lot when I started up my YouTube channel. You need to be prepared to lose some casts. Some of them, if you're recording with Pamela or you're just recording the Skype call directly, someone might end up sounding weird and you won't know until it's over. And that is really a bummer. So, like, if you can just prepare yourself for it ahead of time, it's going to happen until you get your feet under you. So don't get discouraged.
So, and the other thing also that's non-technical is keeping fucking cast members is really fucking hard.
Yeah.
It is like look at all the people I've gone through on the carousel. Like, if you look at near the beginning of the carousel, I had a guy, Justin, on here, and he went and did the tilt cast, and they've had similar problems over the years. They seem to have a solid lineup, or like the last couple years, but they went through a lot of cast members too. I mean, even like TVGP. I mean, no, I take that back. Knobs has been there forever.
What about Giant Bomb?
Well,
they've had how many new people in the last 2 years?
I guess it's hard for me to knock. I can't because Giant Bomb has had Jeff, Brad, and Vinny. Yeah, he got separated out. So
now Vinny's over in the East. Alex is over in the East.
Yeah.
Reichert moved. Patrick left.
Yeah.
Christ, who is
Austin.
Patrick doing? Thank you, Jesus. And Drew's gone. Like and that was their full-time job.
Yeah.
So it is tough. It's like anything. People have lives, and
yep.
Yeah. And you're going into a real crowded space, like at the end of the day. So I recommend just get a solid plan together. I would I wouldn't do what I did. Like, I would do some test casts first, like that you don't publish, and kind of spread it around maybe to some friends and get some input of what do you like, what do you not like, how can we improve, and kind of go from there, Unless you're
basically go around and ask your friends to rate and review you.
Rate reviews on
Leave
iTunes
a comment.
And yeah. So hey, we're going
Join
long.
the conversation.
We're going long though, but I think you get the idea. Anything worth it is going to take some work. So
yeah, it's much more of an investment of time than it is money.
Yeah.
And definitely, the end takeaway is do it because you're having fun, and do it as an excuse to have conversations with your friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're certainly not Giant Bomb. We do okay now that we got those great tracking from Libsyn. We do okay, but we ain't doing ad money kind of download levels. So and I'm not looking at this as something to ever make money.
You
off
say
of.
that. Have I told you about me? No, God damn. I hate that. Okay. I won't go on that diatribe again.
Here's a box of food.
We're running
Yeah,
long, right, John?
Yeah, we need to close this up. So are we good responding? Can I move on to the closeouts?
Wrap it up. I think
Yep,
I think
do
we
it for fun.
responded pretty well. They're not coming back, Chris.
Well, thank you for writing in, Chris.
Yes,
and
thank you.
and you'll have to forgive the 2 cast members that you slighted. I mean, I guess you slighted me too because you didn't mention that you like the chemistry
did.
with me and them. But whatever, I don't. It is what it is. So thank you for joining us, guys. Everyone out there listening and joining. We stream this every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Be sure and rate and review us on iTunes to help other people find us. We're also on Google Play and a plethora of other podcast services. Buy my music at MusiM.bandcamp.com. Randy, where can we find you?
I am on the PS4 at Gifts of Men, and I'm on Twitter at OSU Cobra.
Awesome.
That's it.
And thank you for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next turn.
Bye, guys.
Indeed.
Okay, titles, right.
I just got an email. I just got an email that says from Amazon. Jake, did AVP double feature meet your expectations? Yes, it did. It was fucking terrible. Sorry. Somebody want to read these?
As soon as I find my Slack, I can, unless you want to, Randy.
Yeah, let me. I got it here. Doop doop dooper.
I completely forgot
Boom.
about it.
All right. First one is more appendages means more pleasure. We got spinners in darkness, hands and feet above the rest. Galgadit, featuring Robin Wright as the Antelope. Error 404 not found.
Nope.
Jason not found. Sorry, Error 404 Jason not found. And the last one is Jason.
Jason, like
Jason. Oh, like the honorific.
like he's your
Japanese
sensei. He's Jason.
honorific. Yes.
I don't think anybody said that. We said Jason so many times I couldn't help myself.
I feel like we have 3 strong contenders right now.
And what are they, John?
I think it's either more appendages means more pleasure, Galgadit, and featuring Robert Wright as the Antelope.
You don't like hands and feet above the rest?
See, I really like featuring Robin Wright as the Antelope because the visual of that being like the last credit to fade out is so funny to me. But I feel like the punchier ones are hands and feet above the rest, Galgadit, and then Error 404.
Of those, I like hands and feet.
If you guys want to go hands and feet, that's fine. I kind of like.
I don't know. I'm
really like the
rethinking it.
Robin Wright one.
I think you might have convinced me, John. That visual is just so good.
Robin Wright as the Antelope.
Featuring Robin Wright as the Antelope. Like in that old 80s font at the beginning of sitcoms or something.
Does anybody want to do some quick Photoshop?
Not me. I don't
You're
have
welcome to
Photoshop.
try. I got to put all this other shit
I don't
together.
even have Photoshop.
Yeah.
That's fine. You just steal it.
I don't just
All
make a
right.
shit post, with paintbrush. So, okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us live.
Bye,
Yep.
guys. Thanks
Bye.
for lurking.
All right.